the derivative of the inner function f prime g of x multiplied by derivative of the outer function, multiplied by the derivative of the outer function g prime of x. And so that's what we're going to do right now. We are going to find the derivative of the outer function, and the outer function is the power, this inner function to power 3. So let's do that. All right, so dy dx, derivative of the entire function, which is the same as y prime, is equal to 3 into, bring down the inner function, minus 6 to power 2. That's 3 minus 1, 2. Then multiplied by the derivative of the inner function, and that is 5. Simplify, therefore y prime is equal to 15 into 5x minus 6 to power 2. So that is the derivative of that composed function, and this is called chain rule also. So derivative of composed functions, you can do them by chain rule. Same thing in number 2. Number 2, finding the derivative of this composed function, we have power to exponent 65, bring down the inner function, then apply power rule. 65 minus 1, 65 minus 1, then multiplied by the derivative of the inner function, which is negative 1. And if I simplify, my final answer is going to be negative 65, bring down the inner function, 5 minus x, and then 65 minus 1 is 64. So that is the simplified function. And that is the, I can do number 2. Number 3 of the extra practice question, chain rule. All right, so in this number 3, actually let's go to number 3. You can pull this up. Number 3. Number 3, whenever I have a radical, the first thing I have to do is rewrite. Before finding the derivative, before differentiating, you have to rewrite. So I am going to rewrite the function. So dy dx, or y prime, y is x squared plus 4 all to power 1/2. Then to find the derivative, y prime is equal to derivative of the outer function. I will apply the power rule, so 1/2 into, bring down the inner function, x squared plus 4 multiplied by 1/2 minus 1, then multiply by the derivative of the inner function, which is 2x, and then simplify. Therefore, the derivative y prime of number 3, note that this is 1/2, so I can just throw it under in the denominator. So this is 2. But I also have multiplying by 2 here, so we're going to clear that out. But this is now going to finish up with negative 1/2. And negative 1/2 is the same. So I am going to write x to power 1/2. X squared plus 4 to power 1/2, because I'll have negative sign, multiplied by 2x. But 2 and 2 will go. Now my final answer will be x in the numerator divided by square root, because the exponent of 1/2 is the same as square root. This means square root. So I have x squared plus 4. And then that's all I have to do. I have already simplified. That's the derivative. That is the derivative of the function in number 3. That is the derivative of the function in number 3. All right, let's go to number 4. We have another radical. And the next thing we want to do is to rewrite. So in number 4, I'm going to clear this and I'll go back to number 4. Number 4, I am told to find the derivative of y equal to square root of. So I want to rewrite. I'm going to rewrite it here. So y is equal to 1 minus 7x to power 1/2. So I have to rewrite before I find the derivative. Now the next thing I want to do is find the derivative. Y prime is equal to, because the exponent is outside the binomial function, it is chain rule. I'm going to apply the chain rule, and I'm already told to apply the chain rule. So finding the derivative, the power is 1/2. Bring down the power as coefficient. Then I have 1 minus 7x into 1/2 minus 1 multiplied by the derivative of the inner function, which is g of x, and that is going to give me a -7. Simplify. For me to simplify this, the most important thing is to note that when I finish, I'm going to have a power of negative. So I'm simplifying. I can rewrite. There is a negative here, so I have negative in front. 7 divided by 2. Then I have noticed that I have 1 over. This time I'm going to write square root because I have negative. First of all, I put it in the denominator because it's to power negative 1/2. So I have 1 minus 7x. And so this is going to be my final answer. You can rewrite it one more time, but this is going to be the final answer. All right, so let's go to number 5. Number 5, find the derivative of this function. You can look at the function and see that it is function. There's a function inside the function. Function inside the function is called a composite function. Therefore, finding that I don't have to, because it's good enough. So this number 5, I have y. I can just have y prime is equal to -13 into, bring down the inner function, everything in the inner function, minus 10, close parenthesis. If I subtract 1 from -13, I have -14 to power -14. Then multiply by the derivative of the inner function. And the derivative of the inner function is 6x. Now simplify. There is a negative outside, so I have 13 multiplied by 6. 13 multiplied by 6. I have 96. So y prime is equal to negative 96. Bring down this function. 3x squared minus 10. And then I can just put this x here that way. So negative 96x to power negative 14. So that is the derivative of the function there. All right. So that is number 5. Now let's work on number 6. Number 6. You will notice that number 6 is quotient rule. So it means that you have to know all the methods of finding derivatives. So we have to make sure we remember quotient rule. Suppose I have y equal to u over v, then y prime is equal to, bring down the denominator, multiply by the derivative of numerator, minus, bring down the numerator, multiply by the derivative of denominator, all over denominator squared. All right, so I want my numerator to be u. So u is equal to 3x to power 4. Therefore, u prime is 12x to power 3. So I like to circle that. That's my u. Then I want to write what my v is. My v is equal to 6 minus 5x squared minus 5x. Actually, it is function inside a function. And so the denominator is a composed function. So v prime, I'm going to use chain rule because this is a composed function. And so I have 2 into, bring down the inner function, minus 5x to power 2 minus 1 is 1, multiplied by the derivative of this inner function, which is negative 5. Then simplify. I have minus 10. If I can just write 6 minus 5x, but I can still simplify. So I know that I have negative 60 minus is plus 50x. So this is my v prime. So now I already have u and u prime, v and v prime. So I'm about to substitute. I already know what I need, so I want to rewrite that here. So y prime is equal to, bring down v, and v is the same as 6 minus 5x squared, multiplied by the derivative of u, and that is 12x cubed, minus, I am going to write the denominator here so I don't forget, 6 minus 5x all to power squared, which is 4. And this is my v prime. So I'm going to put my v prime here and then simplify. And then that will give me the final answer. All right, that will give me the final answer, but I just want to make sure that I have all the parts that I need so that I can substitute and simplify. All right. So let's go to find the equation of the tangent line. Given an equation, and it's not a linear equation. Since it's not a linear equation, then the equation of the tangent line is going to be different at every point. At every different point, the equation of the tangent line will be different. Remember that if I have a curve and this is a point, the equation of the tangent line at this point will be different from the equation of the tangent line at this point. It will be different from the equation of the tangent line at this point. And remember, so the first thing I want to do is to find the slope. And remember, I will use point slope formula when I finish. Y minus y1 is equal to slope into x minus x1. I already don't have the slope, so I want to find y prime. Y prime is going to be my slope. So let me rewrite this. So y minus y1 is 0, 0. And I'm going to find the slope, but I don't know the slope. But I know that the slope is the same as the derivative. So this is going to be y prime evaluated at x equal to 4. Parenthesis x minus x1. x1 is negative 4. So what I'm going to do now is find the derivative of this, evaluate it at 4. So let me do that. So y prime, I'm going to find y prime. Y prime is 14. It is function inside a function. Y equal to 14. Bring down the inner function. Minus 16x. And then 14 minus 1 is 13, multiplied by the derivative of the outer function. So that derivative of the outer function is 3x squared minus 16. All right, so now I can evaluate this function at x equal to negative 4. So y prime evaluated at negative 4, x equal to negative 4. And that means substitute negative 4 for x, wherever you see x in your derivative. And so that's what I'm going to do. I have 14 parentheses, negative 4 cubed minus 16 times negative 4 multiplied by 3 times negative 4 squared. That's going to be 3 times 16. 3 times 16, 3 times negative 4 squared minus 16. Simplify this. Whatever you have is the slope. This answer gives you the slope. So let's get into a calculator. And you can actually use your end derivative.